Requesting assistance, active cucking in progress.
Cuck-a-doodle-doo.
And a strange twist of fate that can only be described as our lives. Now we've gone from people knocking on our door to keep quiet to the sound of cats permeating from all the walls because the other shoots that are happening are all cat related.
Dream Factory.
How many people in this room are allergic to cats? Because I want to see eyes swelling shut as this podcast goes on.
Hey everybody, your hostess with the mostest, Dan isn't here this week.
No.
And so I decided I would step in and take over just for a wee bit of time. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest this week, Elise Willems.
Hi, thanks for having me, James.
You're
Are we
welcome.
talking about
We're talking about a
Sonic
lot
today?
of things. We'll get there.
Oh.
Adam Kovic.
Hey, how's it going?
And Lawrence Sontag.
Hi, glad to be here.
Quick reminder that this episode is sponsored by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code FILMHOUSE at manscaped.com and Upstart. Go to upstart.com/filmhouse to find out how low your Upstart rate is. I know that sounds really vague. What's an Upstart rate? We're going to find out more later on in the show. Thanks for watching.
Lower is better. That's all you need to know. It's like
Well, last week we all got together to talk about the biggest movie of the year, Joker. But since then, none of us have seen anything. And there isn't really that much in theaters because everyone was afraid of the Joker.
It's true. Yeah.
So we're kind of going to do a general news roundup.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about.
Yes,
and then
you
the
were.
clouds parted.
Yes, you were.
The sun beamed down. And a piece of movie news was delivered to me from on high.
Choir of Angels.
And said this will be all anyone could ever talk about. Not only is it important news, but it's news that
Avatar.
people want to hear our perspective on.
Let's do the story.
All right. Hold on to your chili dogs because the Sonic live-action film has been saved according to newly leaked photos. So for those of you that live under a chaos emerald, Sonic is the biggest video game franchise in the world. And what? This is a serious podcast.
Yeah.
And earlier this year, the trailer for a live-action, in quotation, adaptation of the game was released to universal acclaim. Everyone loved it. The people loved it so much that the director Jeff Fowler said, you know what? It's not even up to my standards, this perfect film.
Pre-sale
And
tickets were through the roof.
He felt compelled to make it even better. And so he delayed the release date from November 8th, 2019 to February 14th, 2020.
It
Not so
stings a
happy
little
about
bit.
that.
We could be less than a month away from Sonic right now.
I wish we would have just
exactly
shut
right.
our mouths.
You're exactly. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't say anything. I was
coulda had
happy
it.
with what I was getting. But
Take whatever time you need to make this film the best film it can be. That's what I say.
But when you're at a 10, how do you push it to 11? I don't even know.
How do you water dance with
Well,
God? I don't know.
Leaked photos indicate that they have managed to potentially maybe push this up into an 11.
Oh,
have
show
you guys
me.
seen the new
yeah.
leaked photos, the new Sonic leaked
They
photos?
just gave him the ski mask eyeballs,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with.
The one on
Okay.
the
Why is he
right-
wearing sandals? Yeah.
Wait,
the one on
no,
the
he's
right-
wearing shoes.
No, he's got
He's got that. There's a little electric bolt going over the top of his foot that makes it look
okay,
like he's
yeah.
running in sandals.
I mean, it's better. I think
it's better.
we delay it another year.
Do you think we push it another year?
Yeah, I think we make Jim Carrey CGI.
Imagine what you could do with a whole year. This is what they did in 3 months.
Yeah, just re-edit the whole thing until it barely resembles what it originally was.
The one on
Yeah.
the right looks like a Russian propaganda poster.
This
for some
one?
reason. Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, we're looking at the leaked photos, the newly leaked photos of the Sonic redesign, which for the most part has him maintaining a similar body shape as he did before. It looks like his hands are fleshed out. He has gloved hands.
Can we pull
Right?
up? Can we pull up the old one?
Yes,
just
of
so
course.
we can
Of
compare.
course.
I almost
Pull up
forgot.
the old one.
Because he's tall. He was taller before, am I right?
Well,
was slender.
a lot of people were speculating how they would achieve this because just how special effects work, you have to do a lot of prep work. It's not just a character that you draw in after the fact. And so you have to do a lot of prep work. And things like changing where the eyes are
Yeah.
is like a pretty big deal. So yeah, he doesn't even have gloves on his
Yeah,
hands.
he's like
he just
really
has
tall and slender. He
white-
looks like a runner,
Oh,
but
I
like
miss him. I miss him.
I miss
Yeah,
him too.
I
what could have been.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll get a director's cut like the Zack Snyder cut of Sonic,
Yeah.
where it's the old Sonic, except they won't have time to animate it, so it'll just be like a still image.
Just a JPEG shuffled around.
I-
Wait,
I-
can
Series of
we see the new
polygons.
one again? Sorry.
You wanna see it? Of course.
Yeah, I want to be able to.
So the big difference is, to point out, is he's got a little bit more of a Sonic belly.
Little pooch.
Little belly, but based off these very vague leaked photos. He has gloves now, big hand gloves. It appears as though they went with the straight one peak at the top for his head, as opposed to more of like a hair.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of had a hair effect.
Yeah.
This November, what we missed out on.
Boy.
I really feel like I need to
timelines.
see the two side by side.
His teeth?
Is that
His
an
fucking
option?
Let's
teeth.
try and get the two side by side.
How many
of
teeth
course.
does he have? Oh, careful
Don't
there.
spoil that.
Spoil that.
Oh, there's October's
So
plans.
here's a pretty
Okay.
good side by side of the two.
Okay.
So as biggest thing of the eyes.
Yeah.
Less
That-
emotive now, maybe.
Well,
I would say
but he's
more.
always serious.
yes,
So, like,
Sonic's
About
always been-
chili dogs.
He
and
did have
running.
two separate eyes, which you think could imply more emotion, but like they make the whole hood of his eye his eyebrow, so it's almost like a Spider-Man eye. So you can just change the entire shape of it, and I think they actually get away with more emotion.
I mean, if you look at it, just again talking back to like the intricacies of special effects, you can see that the eyes seem to be in the same spot. They just moved everything around.
They made them more oval too, like they're
Yeah.
slender and narrower.
What we haven't seen are the teeth.
Yeah, we
I
need to
remember
see those teeth.
That was a big thing with Sonic, were the teeth. What was that going to be?
Ah!
Yeah.
God.
He looks. What's weird is he
And his
like,
legs.
Oh, I hate that you can see his muscles.
So yeah, this is a pretty good full body look of how much the
They gave him
dimensions
like
have changed.
you know that horrific age when kids are going through adolescence and they get growth spurts in the wrong places, so their like heads are still babies and their arms are just like kind of gangly.
Yep.
It's nightmarish and horrible, and if you're in that age, I'm sorry, you're a monster. But I think that's how they tried to design Sonic, is to make him appeal to 14-year-olds by giving him that weird middle adolescent body.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're capturing.
I've thought a
any
lot
new-
about Sonic's
Look,
body.
this movie's for people who like Sonic, and that's it. I don't think
it
you're-
is now.
Look
It
at
wasn't
this.
then.
406,000 thumbs up. People
It's-
loved it.
It's
Yeah.
almost like they were trying to give him a runner's body to explain why this hedgehog would be so athletic.
But
Like-
it's a cartoon. So
Yeah,
you don't
like
need
test
to.
test screenings have indicated that people are confused why the blue hedgehog can run so well. He's too small.
And
Yeah.
am I looking at correctly? In the original, was his stomach more white than
Yeah, it does. It does
Yeah,
appear that
it
they've
looks a
given
little
him
more
the
yellow.
more
The
tan
fleshy-
look. Well, the big takeaway is they've abandoned any attempt at realism. Don't get me wrong. I desperately wanted original Sonic. None of the way he looks now changes what the trailer conveys in a movie, and
Okay.
what the movie will be, which is probably trash. And so I want trash to be as trashy as it can be.
Right.
I honestly feel like it may be more sad and jarring now when the movie comes out and it has a genuinely good looking Sonic. You're like, oh, people worked really hard to make that Sonic look really good, and everything around it is garbage. It almost makes me feel worse in a way.
I agree 100%. I was so excited for the original vision of the movie because Sonic should look like a nightmare. There's no other way this movie should happen. And for him to look closer to his video game interpretation, I think it's not spiritually accurate, even if it is visually accurate.
The only thing we can hope for is that they don't care about this movie, and so when it goes up, there's still scenes where he's the original Sonic that show up. And they just go, whatever. Who cares?
Well, I'm not estimating that the writing is going to be very good, but I do wonder if there are certain gags and jokes and stuff that they had in the movie that just played better with that model of Sonic, like his delivery because of his face and everything. When all the missiles are coming at him and he's kind of like standing, like hand on one hip, and he's like, I wonder if lankier Sonic just plays better in that moment than spunky little Sonic.
Can we start a petition to get old Sonic back?
We should.
I mean, I
What
wouldn't be
do people want?
ACLU.
You know, obviously people are talking about the Sonic redesign, but I wouldn't be surprised if like scenes like this that you're referring to where he fires all the rockets and stuff, they're going to have to redo all of this.
sure,
I mean, this
yeah.
is already a completely virtual environment.
Just
There's
be on an
nothing
Apple
live action
box.
about that. But they're going to have to
We'll just put something
redo
underneath him.
all of these sequences to match new Sonic. There's just no way.
You just change the 0 to a 1.
Look,
I've seen
his
it.
legs are way, way shorter,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
so like either going to have to restructure
Or
everything.
they'll put him
out.
standing on stuff. Like
you
he'll be
think they're gonna-
standing on a little pipe or something there.
But this is also
Mario pipe?
manipulative. Like this is
Or just have
these
something
are
in front of his
numbers.
feet.
Yeah.
Everything in the scene is numbers. It's weird to think about how when you make a movie like this, a live action movie,
Uh-huh.
and then you have to change this one element, how many other live action things have to change?
I
I'm
know
putting
you're,
quotation
I know what
marks
you're trying to
around
do,
it.
James, and
Yeah.
you want us to have sympathy for the people who have the honor of working on this movie. Don't cry for them.
I won't.
They get to look at Sonic for 6 more months.
What if I told you that they thought they were working on what was going to be the best movie of 2019, and now they're going to work on what will become a forgotten movie in 2020?
They're spending maybe 2-3 years with Great Blue Leader, and
That is true.
He
They
will
were-
rise.
he will rise
There
again.
is a world where they were all coming and they were like, we're rounding the corner. It's about time to hit export. And,
Yeah.
then, and then Jeff Fowler burst and he said, everyone,
Yeah.
it's okay. We're going to drive this whole thing into debt, but it means we get to stick around for another 4 months.
I can't pay you.
Yeah. Who wants
But-
to do 4 more works of unpaid animation?
Yeah, but you know what? Some of the best films ever made didn't pay their workers, and this will be one of them.
I have to wonder. I mean, I'd assume that they had a VFX studio that was attached to this, that maybe they just carried over the
Just
contract.
pulled it all up in DeviantArt.
I
But I
think
have to-
I mean,
well-
you've seen the animation studio, right?
Oh no!
It's just these lucky people with these electrodes tied to their brains, and they just dream.
Well, I was wondering if some people maybe they're like, I have another project lined up after this. I need to move on. And so then how do you after in your filmography say like, I worked on Sonic the Hedgehog, the real one, not this pretender to the crown.
Yeah.
You just, I guess this is kind of one of those wait and see moments where you're like, you put Sonic the Hedgehog on it, but then if it comes out and the new redesign is a total bomb or total failure too,
Impossible.
then you go, well, the original.
Well,
But if
here's
no one says anything, you just say Sonic.
here's the litmus test because this leak to this came out right when the first images came out and trailer of the original one. It was an outcry on the internet. Have the same people now been posting, talking about how, our Sonic is returned to form? Because I haven't heard a word
This is the
about
first I'm hearing
Well,
about
I-
this.
I
This is
know-
the first time I've seen this.
There was such an outcry.
No, I think largely, at least it's a good point. I don't think there's really been all that much hubbub because I think everybody agrees that it's like that's what it should look like. So it seems to have kind of come and gone without much of a bump because everybody's like, yes, good. That is where that is Sonic.
To me, it's almost like these people just wanted to be angry.
I
And now
don't
it's
know.
like-
Well, I mean,
Sonic
I don't know.
looked bad.
It's an easy
He
target.
looked bad, but
It's such an easy target
And
to
they
go,
care a
this is
lot about
bad.
Sonic.
You ruin a thing that I love. And they said, we fix it. And they go, excellent. I'll pirate it later.
Yeah,
They did
pretty much.
a great It's Always Sunny episode about this. And this isn't like a blanket statement of like, everyone's like this. But I don't know if you guys seen this new season.
no, I haven't
They
seen any of
they
it
go to a
yet.
test screening of a, what's it, like Thunder Gun or like one of their favorite movies or whatever, starring Dolph Lundgren. But they've changed it all. And they're the ones who are like, what the hell? Like, why would you do that? And then they're like, well, we're trying to get a bigger audience. We have to change it. And it's PG-13. I was like, it's PG-13. They're all upset. And then they're like, well, how did you watch the movie before? Like, internet. Yeah, there's a website. You can watch it for free. And then, like, by the end, they're like, they watch it. But I don't know. It's a funny thing where they leak the movie. They film it at the screening, and they leak it, and everyone gets upset, so they change it back to the way it was. And then the movie bombs, and then they illegally download it and watch it with motion smoothing. It's a fun parallel where it's like maybe the loudest voice isn't the most correct voice. I'm just saying James should have been louder for his love of original Sonic.
In a world where there are some genuine geopolitical protesting and people fighting for rights and
Yes.
good human will and
Their
everything
lives.
like their lives.
We're still talking about Sonic, right?
Yeah. Look no further than the
Yeah.
r/Sonic
There-
subreddit. No,
I don't know.
but
I
was-
scanned some of those comments and they are amazing.
Well, I was just gonna say that like if your
Some selects,
act
I
of
can't read it from
rebellion
here.
is type send.
Well,
Comparatively,
their rebellion would be
clicking the down arrow.
Yeah, well, not going to see it in theaters because I think the Sonic fandom actually does spend money. I don't know that there's necessarily a ton of crossover between
That's fair.
the sort of internet malcontents that pirate everything. Sonic fans buy a lot of stuff.
That's true.
And I think they would reward this movie with multiple viewings and money. I think the other thing is like for movie theater or for movie studios, there is, I would say, a great fear and perhaps misunderstanding of internet audiences and certainly like the mobs that can come against you. So I could see a movie studio being like, oh my God, they hate Sonic, and equating that with like people that are mad at Captain Marvel or something like that and saying like, that's not a problem, we want to bite off. All right, just do the redesign, that's going to be cheaper in the long run. I think internet mobs can, if they get mad enough and know how to use the internet the right way, can cause material damage to your property aside from just stealing it. So I could see that kind of being a factor.
We've talked about it before, like when this was all going down before these leaked images came out. And what I keep coming back to is, regardless of how he looks, does this feel like it is a movie for fans of Sonic the Hedgehog? And I actually got pretty shit on by the Sonic community, but like,
oh, that must hurt.
But it's just like, I'm one of you guys. But it's just funny because it's like with everything else, like I pulled up the Wikipedia, and if you read the summary, which probably not necessarily written by the person who wrote the screenplay or whatever, but close. The first thing is Tom Wachowski, a San Francisco Police Department officer turned newly appointed sheriff of Green Hills, Montana, journeys from Green Hills to San Francisco to assist Sonic. Sonic is the third line down in the description of the movie about a police officer who goes from Montana
James Marsden, right?
to San Francisco.
It's the Ninja Turtles template. It says Megan Fox is a real life person that doesn't cost money like a CGI turtle does. She then meets whatever his name, Casey Kasem and his
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones.
That'd be funny though.
Oh, it says Casey or whatever because that's the description. And it goes, and then 45 minutes into the movie, we show the turtles for 45 seconds because it's expensive.
Well,
it's
Sam Witwicky is a sexually frustrated young teenage boy who has a lawn that's really nice, and when those Transformers play pranks,
and he wants a car, and then he sits in a car. The car is not a Transformer yet. It will be later when it costs money.
To be fair, I actually think adaptations are good things. I like when things are adapted into other
Sonic
forms
fandom is not gonna be
because
happy
we
with you.
already have the other thing that exists, and sometimes it's
Sonic
cool.
Boom.
It's cool unless
Rise
it's
of Lyric.
changing into a remarkably new medium to experience it in a new way. But this is an example of an adaptation that is a template. Like Adam was describing, this is a templated adaptation. They had no idea what to do with Sonic, so they looked at other things
no
and then
reference
just
material,
and they just inject it in.
What are we
Like
gonna do?
if you're hoping Cream will show up, she probably won't.
Maybe in
After credit sequence.
it might be like an ice cream.
Well, I've also been saying that there's probably going to be dumb Easter eggs in it, kind of like Green Hills, Montana.
They're going to be Chow.
And then I also still think, based off the trailer, that last shot of Robotnik or whatever, where he
he's
looks
in
like he's
Robotnik Zone.
in Robotnik Zone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think
with all his mushrooms.
I'm going to say Sonic is pulled.
Yeah. He's definitely
Robotnik's
from
doing
Sonic
experiments
Dimension.
with Chaos Emeralds, opens a realm, Sonic comes through.
right.
Sonic is from this other world, which is why he's so lost and scared
Right.
in San Francisco.
Alternate reality
Well,
where
isn't it
he
just
has
Sonic
a girl.
X?
Wait, is it?
Yeah. Sonic comes from Sonic Land to befriend a real human boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who has a wicked awesome name. I can't remember. It's like Thorn Super Whistle or something like that. But James, you're talking about a phenomenon that is, I think, pretty common where there is a fandom that occasionally will hit these reminders that they may not be the target audience for things within that fandom anymore. And that hurts a lot. I see it happen in the gaming community tons. So there are like what people would consider themselves core gamers. But then there's a game made that doesn't target them. And I think to some degree there was some frustration that they're not getting targeted. And it kind of all revolves around the unwillingness to accept that you may not be the biggest market or most important market anymore. So for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, anyone who's a Sonic the Hedgehog fan sees it as like, finally, they're rewarding my fandom and my investment with this series with the movie. This is what I've been waiting for, so it ought to give me everything I want. And then it hits, and it's actually starting, apparently it's targeting children. It's a gateway for new people to enter the fandom. But the people who've been into it for 30 years don't want to think about it that way. So then they kind of try to pull it to what they thought it should be. And then, the studio's in the middle trying to weigh all these different audiences and give them all what they want. It's tough. And you can't tell that the fucked part is when you have to tell someone, in this case the Sonic fandom, this isn't for you. And then they say, well, it should be. And to some degree, they're not wrong. But
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean,
where I just find issue with that is like, or not issue with that, because I totally think that that's how studios and creators look at stuff in that way based on their audience. But when I think of like the perspective of a child and what I think would have been cool for this movie, I look at like Mortal Kombat because I just love Mortal Kombat, but I think that's maybe the best video game adaptation movie, and it's taking you into the world of Mortal Kombat. And this brings Sonic out of his world into the human world, and I'm like, man, if I was a kid, I would much rather see a human go into Sonic's world. Like, I would much rather see a kid that gets transported and is stuck in Sonic's world, a la, Dorothy, Wizard of Oz.
That is the more expensive option.
It's the more expensive option, and then
But that's the sensation of the game.
And
right?
Eggman's there.
It's music. It's vibrance. It's like the color.
Absolutely. And you got
culture.
I don't know if I was a kid, I'd be like, Sonic's in San Francisco. I'm watching Sonic, but there's nothing else around Sonic that's cool.
Yeah.
And I also think like I didn't really love Detective Pikachu, but I still felt like the hybridization of the Pikachu realm and the humans. It's like we have a world where these two things coexist and they're fused and they're mixed is like a pretty interesting way to do it too. Well, you're not moving one to the other.
It assumed you already knew everything because everyone who's going to this movie knows what a Pokemon is.
Yeah, so you're like, this is a world.
Yeah, you're just walking in the middle of it. This one, they have to go, I'm a hedgehog from Green Hill Zone.
But I'm fast.
And we have Chaos Emeralds, and I turn yellow at the end. And it's like, gotcha.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's like fish out of water, but I think the water's not that interesting, or the water that the fish is going into, or the land, I guess, isn't that interesting.
It's the
so
template
like,
of the kids'
Yeah,
movie,
I mean,
right?
I'm with you. Like, I would rather have had people watch this movie and go, I have never seen anything more beautiful than the land Sonic lives in, and then they hang themselves, a la Avatar, because they want to live in that world.
It's a photo of somebody opening a noose and it's Sonic in the middle welcoming you.
I just thought a headline.
He hits a red beanbag. It's like a bumper.
Is that what it was?
I didn't catch that actually until just now.
I'm just so.
You think they're gonna?
Boing?
I mean, they have to sneak those sound effects in the movie.
Well,
right?
in the trailer, it does have the spin dash. When he does
it has a spin dash. Is there a slight, like when he throws the ring to make the giant teleporter, is there like a ring chime? I remember there being a ring chime in there somewhere.
This is the Transformers / Ninja Turtles template, only because there's a shot of a war room where they go, Mr. President.
Yeah.
There's it's like, why are we getting the president involved?
It's an extraterrestrial.
It's like you could have Jim Carrey be a human in the Sonic universe.
Sure.
Like you can have other humans, like you could do whatever. I just think it would have been much more compelling to create a universe.
All right, we're
and
starting over. We're doing it again.
Send a kid into it. Maybe as the sequel, that's what'll happen.
Well,
sequel.
In a world where we have an Emoji movie and an Angry Birds movie.
Two Angry Birds.
Angry Birds, somehow they managed to flesh out a world. It's weird. It's like when you have less lore, the people who come to adapt it are less intimidated. So they're like, we get to create all the Angry Birds lore, as opposed to a Sonic movie that takes place in Sonic realm, and he's pursuing the Chaos Emeralds and going through Marble Zone, like stuff like that. Like I don't know why that's my preferred.
Like
my preferred is what we were promised.
Make it
November 8th, 2019.
Make it Speed Racer with Sonic. Like,
sure.
The problem is no one saw Speed Racer.
I know.
So when someone goes in with a good idea, they go, no one saw Speed Racer.
Yeah.
And they go, you know what people did see? The first Ninja Turtles. Yeah, but it was critically panned, and then no one saw the second one, which was actually good.
Just instead of the Transformers template, I wish people would look more at like the Lego movie template.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
For
Look,
sure.
well, it doesn't have to be
You
one
need
to one.
auteurs to want to take on that property, and
I
I
know.
think in that case there was two guys who were like in a studio that were like, we want this, please give us this. Whereas Sonic is, what do we have lying around that we can make instead of something new?
Hope
So that's-
Knuckles is in
Chris
it.
Thorndike.
Yeah, that's the cool name. So that predicates an interesting question though, because most kids movies, the biggest ones that I can think of are kid, human insert, lives a relatable but humdrum life, and then suddenly an extraterrestrial being is plopped into their lap and changes the course of their life. But it is the extraterrestrial being entering their world of banal mundanity, or however you say that. Anyway,
It's a good word.
Yeah, is there what's a movie that inverts that, where somebody's normal life, like it doesn't start with them, it starts with the extraterrestrial thing, and then a normal person comes into them.
Gets into
Star
it.
Wars.
Well, I mean, E.T.
Yeah.
Like E.T., you mean?
E.T.'s
The extraterrestrial comes into their regular world?
That's kind of the first version.
He's talking
the
about the
inverting it would be
opposite.
like you see E.T.'s world,
Mac and
and
me.
then
Mars Needs Moms.
I'll trust you on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, Star Wars, I guess,
a
it
kid in-
opens with the galactic battle.
Like a kid in
and then goes to
Kingdom
kid.
Hearts Court, I guess.
And yeah, he's kind of sucked into that world.
Yeah, it is usually like, you see the kid's mundane world, and then
And then he gets to carry around an alien in his backpack.
he's a page master.
We could talk
Except
about-
it's a police officer, which is a weird pick. I would think there would be like a
Kid.
hall monitor. Yeah, like a preteen, mid-teen.
Where is it? So James Marsden's playing Tom Wachowski, and just so you know, Tika Sumpter is playing Dr. Annie Wachowski,
Spoiler, they're
who
married.
probably works
brother
for Robotnik. Just putting it out there. You
She's-
can piece it all together
she's
if you've seen
cream.
any movie. Even though we can talk about Sonic all day, I just want to leave us with one lingering question. What am I supposed to do with all of my old design Sonic Halloween masks?
Click some of the other. I want to see the side view. I want to see it on a human.
Is that still available?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. Wow.
The price is going up, though. I've been watching. I tried
We
to
should
get
just
one.
buy it to have it for the office.
I tried
honestly.
to get, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
But, again,
How did,
Back
so
of
somebody
that
jumped.
head.
Somebody just belly flopped on that and made it before the movie came out.
well, no. I mean, they probably had merchandising deals in place,
Oh no!
and this doesn't just happen
Oh, yeah.
overnight. So
It doesn't. You're right.
I mean,
there's
even though
probably
it
got
looks
a lot
like it
of
did,
shitty merchandise that's going to come out looking like this.
it's like a paint by numbers
Why
kit.
are wait?
His eyes are almost fully colored.
Well,
in.
wait. Eyes aren't like that. Why are his pupils off center?
He's looking to the right.
That's
Yeah.
not how eyes work.
He's
Also, his
wait. Yeah.
the eyes are both in the center of his eye sockets. If you were looking to the right, one eye would be.
Ow. This
Why
hurts
you
my
got a
brain.
nose like a
Oh, I'm
Hershey
sorry.
Kiss?
I didn't realize you were from where Sonic's from, and that's where people's work. Anyway, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Support for Filmhouse comes from Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Halloween is right around the corner, and you don't want to spook someone with your scary bush. You might want to dress up as Chewbacca or Bigfoot, but it's what's under the costume that really matters. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 2.0, which includes their signature electric trimmer called the Lawnmower 2.0. This waterproof and skin-safe technology will protect you from nicking your pumpkins. You'll also get anti-chafing deodorant and moisturizer, because you should take care of the ones you care about. Your balls. Stay sexy this Halloween. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code FILMHOUSE, that's HAUS, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code FILMHOUSE.
So James, this Halloween, are you going to bleach your pubes blue and then dry and like
Can
dye
you
them?
bleach them blue?
Sonic-
You gotta bleach them first.
Oh,
Sonic
yes,
Get them nice
definitely-
and straight, and then you can dye them.
He definitely got manscaped. Got all that white fuzz off.
absolutely.
Well, when you curl into a ball, you don't want your face full of just muff. You got to trim it down.
Isn't
Get
it like retracted into his body? I don't know how
yeah,
hedgehogs
no,
made.
I used to have a hedgehog, and it's gross.
He has hair everywhere except for his pubes.
Oh.
One bald spot.
Another bit of
So
news
cold.
that kind of came out. We don't have to spend too much time on this. I just want to know if there's anything that you guys saw. But like Disney Plus's social media account just dropped the longest Twitter thread in the history of ever.
It's a really cool idea. It got
Yeah.
everyone talking, like scrolling through it.
It's a
really cool.
really cool idea, unless you're
Yeah.
producing a film podcast which has a visual element, and you're just trying to get to the last one.
It was
So you can
definitely
link to the whole
holding
thread.
end, and it keeps reloading.
Is-
Stop.
definitely Disney saying like if you had any question as to whether there was going to be enough content on this to justify it, boom.
Yeah.
Like
Meet the Deedles.
you
I'm
won't
also-
have enough time to watch
It's
all
such a
this.
good, I think on top of that too, if you're like scrolling, you're like, you're getting. Disney's so good about like plucking those stupid memory strings that they implanted in your damn brain when you were a child.
I
And
just
that's
got
what
hit.
this-
I just got hit hard
Yeah, exactly. Brink
by the Soul Skaters.
Richie Rich's Christmas wish.
Look, Kion from Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Bride.
Scars.
I get it.
That's Scar's
bastard.
kid. Scar.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
But yeah, on top of it being an awesome implementation of social media, on top of it, like you said, Elise, like giving everyone the dictionary of
like,
all the
shut
content
up.
they're gonna get.
Yeah, they're like,
Fuck
shut
off.
it.
Watch our
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like you scroll through it in the same way that you endlessly scroll through Netflix feeds, and you're like,
Yeah.
I remember that, and it encourages you to like retweet. I remember when I saw this the first time. I was
Sort of throws down the gauntlet where it's like, oh, you thought Netflix had a bunch of garbage. Check this out.
Well, I've always thought Netflix interface gives too much. It like gives it away too easy. Like when it shows you 4 columns on one page, and then each column has 10 things in it, and you're just looking and you're like, I don't know what any. If Netflix was like this, it would probably look like they have a lot of shit too.
That's a good point.
I'm just curious of all this, how much are you actually interested in other than Spider-Man Unlimited?
all of it.
Yeah,
I mean, I watch a lot of trash, and I feel like horse sense.
that's not Brokeback Mountain, despite what the
that's-
might lead you to
the
believe.
title
That's
implies.
Nambla
It's
Mountain.
Asia 2000.
Jesus.
Yeah, I really like watching things in bulk. I remember talking about this bizarrely on the podcast. Although, still, this service has what? Miracle on Lane 2? Is that?
Stay
Frankie Muniz.
focused.
Where's Miracle
Yeah.
in Lane 1?
Yeah. Is that like Angels Help a NASCAR driver? Anyway.
Probably.
It's weird because, Studio Ghibli got picked up by HBO Max, which, blah, 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 we are owned by HBO or something. I don't know. Warner Media. So, even all the things that Disney distributed, they still don't have the rights to. So I guess, what's the dividing line? Oh, my God.
The kid.
We're not even close.
So how am I going to watch everything ever made by any Disney studio if they're not all on Disney Plus? Huh?
I am definitely going to use it as an opportunity to like watch bits and pieces of stuff that like I know by reputation, but never saw.
Like the kid.
Like the kid, yeah.
What about the Shaggy Dog 1959 and 2006?
I've seen the first one.
I didn't know Shaggy
They
Dog was a
don't. They only
remake.
have one of the Journey
Really?
to the Center of the Earth, though.
I didn't either.
Where's the Brendan
That
Fraser
Darn Cat
one?
is also a remake, just FYI.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the
There's-
Christina Ricci one was not the original.
It is eye opening though, where you go, because I feel like for a lot of people, when you were growing up, you're like, I've just discovered Disney. This is when they started.
Yeah.
You know, like everything in the 90s, like that's only when Disney started making movies. But you look at it, you're like, oh my God, they've been making them since the 50s. And they also bought Fox's catalog and everything else. So you're like, there's just so much
To be
crap.
fair, as usual, we are the best generation that has ever existed.
Wow.
I mean, we did get to hit a certain magic window when Disney was having their renaissance in the early 90s and stuff. So I think it could be forgiven for thinking that all those movies were like just it. Although, I do remember like it does give you a weird sense of chronology because I thought Fantasia came out in like 1993 because that's when I watched it.
Yep.
And nothing about it implied that it was super old because it's kind of timeless. So it was weird to like hear references to it in media that was older than me.
Wait, how many retweets does Brink have? I've been noticing that keeps
let's
coming
see.
up.
Yeah. 866 people
Compared to
retweeted
Hercules'
Brink.
Compared to
Well,
eat
that's
it.
the animated series.
Yeah, suck it, Hercules. Brink's better. It's all about the Soul Skaters.
It
No
did
one
lose to
questioned
Out of
whether
the Box,
Brink was
though.
better.
the hell's out of the box?
Sorry, man.
I'm old.
Halloween Town,
Beat Simba's pride.
just in time.
Yeah, The Verge made a list because I guess people over there have time.
Yeah. Squadron. What else are they gonna do?
Where they made a list of everything
Oh, by
sorted
decade.
by theatrical, live action,
Oh my God.
and date.
A lot of
there's that
Haley
down
Mills
pat.
movies
Who?
in there.
Well, it's funny to kind
she's
of
Pollyanna.
look at what Disney was just up to.
Yeah.
So it was like we did That Darn Cat, but they immediately followed it with The Ugly Dachshund.
That's
Jesus.
right. Dog movies. It's the 60s.
Barefoot Executive.
Yeah.
Oh man, Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
It was a young Walt Disney going, yes, yes to all of it. Fund my castle in the swamp.
I-
Oh, go ahead.
I've seen like I said, I've seen a lot of the Haley Mills ones, like Candle Shoe, Escape to Witch Mountain. Oh, Return to Oz is on there. That's
Really?
good. I mean, I own it on DVD. Return to Oz was
Feruza Balk.
yes, but I'm trying to think of who put it out.
Oh, probably Fox.
No.
Miramax.
Maybe Miramax.
Pixar.
Do you think they tried to
Vivid
hide it
Video.
because they
Who
were
was it
ashamed?
From
Canon.
Distributed-
Silver Screen?
Oh, Buena,
Buena
Buena
Vista,
Vista.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember Buena Vista. That was an old. Anyway, sorry, we're getting too nostalgic. There's no.
That's what this whole thing
is.
I
There's no need for
remember
it, yeah.
when.
It's all members. Yeah.
Are you
I-
guys gonna be?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Yeah,
I know
sure.
you are.
Yeah.
I
Add it to the
I'm
pile.
not just because Stephanie's going to, but
I think that counts in a household.
counts,
Having
yeah.
it in a household.
I guess it counts.
It'll
then.
be that.
I don't know. I feel like so much of all of these services are selling you on the prospect and the freedom to do something. And when I think about the reality of me and how I consume content, I mean, no, I'm not going to use it every month. Hell no. I play video games mostly, so
Sure, yeah.
I've actually actively been trying to cancel accounts where a month goes by and I don't use it.
It just takes that one thing though, where you go,
Well, yeah, then hopefully
Mandalorian's out, and you go, I should watch that.
So I know that the system doesn't work this way on purpose, but ideally, yes, for Mandalorian, I am interested in that.
There you go.
But what I would do is just buy it for a month, watch everything, and then cancel it, and then go to Amazon. Well, I'll always have Amazon Prime, I guess, but
Yeah.
go to another service, do that for 1 month. I know that they don't do this on purpose, but it'd be great if every streaming service made it very easy to just buy a month a la carte.
I do appreciate
Oh, God,
when
they don't
these
want that.
I know.
services sometimes let you put your account on hold. I've done that with a few years ago with Audible,
Oh,
where I
okay.
had such a backlog of audiobooks, and then I was like, "Do I cancel this?" But then they had an option where you could just put it on hold, and I'm like, "Oh, that's really great because I don't want to just like get rid of my account forever, but
I think Hulu does that too.
Oh, yeah.
But,
How long is this video?
3 hours.
And it's just like 30
It's-
seconds of each movie?
Well, it's not even all the movie. It's not even the whole list.
Oh
but
my
they did a 3-hour
God.
video just like
These are-
showing you Kurt Russell. There's the strongest kid in the world, or
Wow.
whatever.
The last name Walt Disney ever wrote before he croaked.
Wait, he has magic powers?
I forget the story of that one.
And
Why
Kurt
were
Russell?
kids so ugly in the 70s?
they didn't have a
I don't know.
choice.
You're
Casting
right,
was
though.
harder. It was like, well, who's going to come in? The ugly kids.
yeah, who can you throw a mitt in the face of?
Hell
he
yeah,
goes.
now we're
Okay.
talking.
That's Brink, right
Oh,
on his
found it.
Rosies.
Wait, how are we already in 98 if the 3-hour video is only halfway
Well,
over?
it went Snow White, Brink.
It's
That's
not,
the order.
it's not all of them, but I'm clicking through.
Is it not chronological either?
Everyone asked, would Walt want a aggressive inline rollerblading movie straight to TV?
Treasure Planet.
The answer was yes. Never actually seen Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet was Disney? I thought that was like a DreamWorks, whatever.
You might be
No,
thinking
it came out against Titan AE.
that's the one.
That's the one.
Which
Yep,
people seem
never
to
mind.
prefer.
100%. Yep. Treasure Planet was the Michael J. Fox one, right?
And there's David Jones
No,
fighting
you're
at a
thinking of
wedding.
Atlantis.
Damn it!
Sorry. Was that Prince of Egypt? Is Alpha on
God.
there? I don't know. What about the Penguin movies? Any of those like Disney documentaries?
Oh, there are some documentaries. Let's
Yeah.
see.
The ones where they pretend animals don't die.
Yes.
TV shows.
Nature was good, and the penguins and the polar bears are friends.
Star Wars.
Are
This is
all the
Star
Muppet movies
Wars.
coming?
Is the clone? Wait. Is how many Clone Wars is there on there? The
There's
series.
the series.
Wait, and then okay, so that's
Droid Tales will be.
wait. Which one is the Gennady Tartakovsky one? Whatever that guy's name is. Because it's Clone Wars in 2008, but also Clone Wars series in 2008.
Isn't this well the series? Isn't the series the?
That's the 3D animated
3D
one.
animated
I know what
one.
you're
Those are
thinking
the
of.
two-
You're thinking of the awesome 2D ones.
Yeah, the Samurai Jack one.
isn't that the
that-
Clone Wars?
I think so. I didn't know that it was 2008. I thought it was earlier than that.
They were like interstitials, so
Yeah.
So
they're only like 10
are-
minutes
But they
long,
combined
so-
it into one thing.
That'd be
I think
nice.
they combined it into one.
That'd be
That's
nice.
how I
it's
watched
just
it.
one 90-minute thing.
Yeah, you can watch
Yeah.
it as like a episode
There you
basically.
go.
sense.
National Geographic.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are all of these coming at launch, or are these?
This is supposedly everything that's going to be there November 8th.
Okay.
Or whatever. No, that's Sonic's release date.
And to answer your next question,
Could've been.
Lady and the Tramp, I believe, is launching with it. Elise,
the cats in it?
what
I
cats?
still can't wait to find out. I will
Aristocats?
probably tune in just to see if the Siamese cats.
All of The Simpsons is going to be on Disney Plus?
Of course, they bought Fox.
Yep.
That's
the
my
only thing they took
primary
from?
reason
No,
for
they took
getting it.
everything.
Wait, but what else from Fox is on Disney
They
Plus?
they did a deal. I hate. Oh yeah, the racist cats.
Oh god.
I hate that
Oh,
I know this,
yeah.
but they were saying like they're more adult oriented stuff that doesn't really belong on Disney Plus. That's going to go on Hulu or some
Oh,
other platform.
okay,
So
makes
they're
sense.
going to license stuff out. I mean, they also think they're a part owner of Hulu or maybe a majority stakeholder. But yeah, much like they're. I mean, look, Disney more or less made Kill Bill. It was just funded by Miramax, and it's like another. It's like their other company. So in a weird way, it's like yeah, Disney made one of the bloodiest, awesome movies in Tarantino's career. So
Yes, they did make Tron.
I mean, Disney's a smart company. They're smart in that they know how to put their brands in different buckets.
Yeah.
So that way they don't get all mixed up.
Who will they make?
Kind of like how Achievement Hunter and Funhaus are two very different things. We're
That way we
like
get all the viewers.
we're like
Face.
Marvel, and they're like Buena Vista.
I was gonna say Star Wars, but what do you do? What?
It's the face.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, the racist cats.
No, the lady. That was the still frame you were on.
Someone's gonna watch a Disney movie a day for a year.
It's
Well,
Lawrence.
sorry everybody. I'm just gonna hop in real quick and give you a little behind the scenes look at the thing that always happens every single time we record a topical weekly film podcast. We discuss a topic, and then, almost like magic, as soon as we're finished, news comes out that would have been relevant to have been discussed. It's a curse. It's okay. We've accepted it. I just figured it might be worth your time to jump in really quick and just let you know we are going to spend the next handful of minutes discussing speculation as to why Jonah Hill is no longer attached to the Matt Reeves The Batman movie. Other possibilities, just shooting the shit about what we think about that news story. And then, like clockwork, as soon as we were finished recording, it was announced that Paul Dano has signed on to portray the Riddler in the movie. So we got the answer. Just giving you a heads up that we will be discussing Jonah Hill and completely irrelevant news for the next 5 minutes. So please enjoy it as a purely entertainment product with no information. And then I'm also going to toss in there later on in the podcast. Stick around because I confuse cabin fever for cabin in the woods and vice versa. And I am apologizing in advance for that. Anyway, enjoy the rest of Funhaus. You know who's not going to be watching a Disney movie? Jonah Hill, because he doesn't care about superheroes.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep. That
Broadly?
yep.
Checks out.
Checks out.
Yeah.
We did it. No, this is just another kind of like fun story that came out because we were speculating. There was speculation before that Jonah Hill was in talks to portray a villain in the Matt Reeves Batman Robert Pattinson movie. But
Okay.
he's out. He says no.
That was
All right,
fast.
that's
Says he don't want it.
He's got the right, yeah? He's got the clout. He can take, like, I feel
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
everyone still thinks of him as like the dopey dude from.
No.
Well, maybe I did. Maybe I'm.
He wears
like,
glasses. He wears dark rim glasses now. This is the new Jonah Hill is
He's
where
proven
the
himself.
beard.
Post Wolf of Wall Street Moneyball.
He's like
Yeah.
I'm only fat when I want to be. That's the new Jonah Hill that we
his
have.
arms are all tatted up too.
Oh, he's
Oh, is
getting
he
hard.
tatted?
Yeah, he's a
I
hard-
do love the hypercuts of people just shitting on him in interviews.
Look up picture type in Jonah Hill coffee. It's one of the saddest
Oh,
images
I
on
know
the
what you're
internet.
talking
I
about.
feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
What happened?
Watch, just look
It's
at
just
it.
a picture.
Well, look at his hand.
Oh, dude, I've been there so many
no.
times.
Like,
Oh, they're just like
Yeah.
us. They're
Yeah.
just like us.
When that becomes a headline and it's like, you
Jesus
won't believe
Christ,
how
he's a
Jonah Hill
brick
dropped
house.
his coffee. It's like, fuck off.
Well, no. I'm like, he looks good. He's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
like.
Fuck, he looks dangerous.
But I was like, wow, he's got arm tats. And then I looked at the coffee. Like, no, not the coffee. This is for audio listeners. Sorry, he's holding it by the lid,
Yeah.
and he hasn't reacted yet, but you can see it
It's
right
already
before he notices
falling.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
But
but to
anyway.
have the whole world just have headlines about how you dropped your coffee, like,
When they should be talking about how you don't want to play the penguin.
Yeah. Well, there's that whole YouTube mega mix or whatever where he's on talk shows and they're like, so you're like a fat idiot. You're,
Yeah.
and he's just dying inside.
What's it like
like
to be around good actors all the time? I thought I was a good.
yeah.
If you could be anyone on set that isn't you because you're a trash pile, who would it be?
I remember you were the fat kid in that one movie with Michael Cera. Remember 15 years ago? And he's just like,
Crazy how that stuff follows you around.
what was that movie called?
super bad?
Yeah,
Superbad.
Superbad. That's right.
It's
And he was the one that went on. Michael Cera, we thought that was the guy. We thought it was him.
He's
But
doing voice work in Apple
he's-
Watch
he's fine.
commercials. That's work.
the interesting thing about this whole Batman situation, though, is that obviously these are very complex conversations. It's not just yes, I want to, please, but it's interesting because he's like no, thank you, or they're saying the most things I've read indicate that he backed out. He's like no, thank you, and it's interesting that takes place while the Joker movie is on its way towards $1 billion.
Oh,
you
is that
know?
true?
I mean, it's doing really well. I
Oh
think
my
it's at like
God.
$600 million or something already.
Right.
So
it is typically villains that make the superhero movie work, right? I mean, that's not a new thought, but when I think back on all the great acting roles, it's always been the villains because I feel like
Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy.
he's right. He's right.
Original
Bane.
Bane.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The superlative ones like Alfred Molina was really fun in Spider-Man 2. Obviously Heath Ledger is Joker. Like
Yeah.
I feel like the weight is mostly on the villains, which is a bummer because it'd be fun to see what he could bring to it. I feel like Mads Mikkelsen actually did a super good job in Doctor Strange, despite that movie being a little kind of all over the place. But the like subtlety he was able to get away with, just by like he had like 3 speaking scenes, but he conveyed a whole lot.
Oh, that was like a bad guy that wasn't really a bad guy.
Yeah, I was like he did nothing wrong kind of guy.
He was consumed by, I don't know. There's a great exchange in that movie. Not that we have to talk about Doctor Strange, but he says nice to meet you, Mister. He goes, Doctor. And he's like, or he says, I forget what he says. He goes, it's strange. He goes, yes, it is. I fucked up the exchange, but yeah, it was. Sorry, I'm just
That's like
remembering
me
this.
and my Joker joke.
Oh yeah.
I see what you're saying, James, about like if this one movie's making a ton of money, then why wouldn't you want to be part of that? But maybe, I mean, it could be for any reason. It could be that maybe he saw that and he was like, oh, I want to, I want this movie's, I want to cut out the box office. I don't want just like a straight up paycheck. And then that they didn't want to agree to that, or they wanted him to be in some crazy production schedule that was going to overlap with something else.
Like put on the suit Danny DeVito wore. That's how we do these casting sessions.
Yeah, or he just didn't want to be like, or they wanted
this
him
rough
locked into some crazy promotion schedule after the movie that he's like, I want to work on projects, or he they wanted the role to go a certain way.
He's too good for it.
And
Got
he's
it.
like, I don't want this to then shape the rest of my career for the rest of my life because this role might,
Yeah, but who loses?
He probably
But-
was like, "Oh, that sounds cool. I'd love to be in a Batman." They're like, "You're gonna be Penguin," and he was like, "What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Why are you being an asshole
Is
about
that
this?"
is that who they were talking about?
That was the-
According
rumor.
to like in this article, there was interest from the production
Man,
in
how
Seth
do you-
Rogen for the role of Penguin, but so I don't know what
Hmm.
they were necessarily thinking for him. But
Good writing can do anything.
Penguin
but
friend.
it's so hard to imagine
Fiji
Penguin
facts,
being
man.
done better than he was done in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
They gave so much like meaning and depth and interest. The character itself wasn't. I mean, it was. I don't know.
They changed it on the cartoon where he went from being a sort of cartoon, as a cartoon, but he was, the cartoonish villain to just sort of being a mob boss, which
Yeah.
where he was never really, he wasn't a bad guy.
yeah,
He was more just a mobster, which I thought was kind of a better version of the Penguin. And then there's Nolan North's version from the Arkham games where he's just a Cockney,
Yeah.
oh there, how
Well,
you doing? It's like,
None of the villains from the Arkham series had all that much depth to them. It's just a rogues gallery. You punch your way through most of the time.
well, you have to quickly get through them all. They're
Yeah.
like Nora's frozen. Help, get Nora. Yeah, we've been
okay,
here.
thank you, Batman. Take your freeze
You're-
gun. Now you can
yeah.
open these doors.
Yeah, but I fight
Okay.
you real quick. Okay. You killed me. Go get Joker. There's Joker. Yeah.
He's giant now.
Yeah, I mean, I would, not that we're going to compare the video games. I heard the video games are somewhat influencing the new movie, like the Telltale one, and
Oh.
Cool.
they're pulling, this is just what I heard, it's a rumor, but like they're pulling from like mood boards and stuff. They're using like the Arkham armor and stuff like that as like the new Batman design, which I'm like, because they need something. They need something that sets it apart from the other, different reboots.
I'm
we
gonna throw this out here as pure speculation.
Go for it.
But what do you guys think about the possibility of they were going to do some sort of thing with the Matt Reeves Batman movie that was more independent, but because the Joker is so successful, now they're relooking at everything and saying, how can we
Merge.
make this part of it? How can we get
They
Joaquin
want
in
interesting.
this Batman movie? Can we rework it? We don't need these other villains, and so we don't need Jonah Hill or Seth Rogen.
Don't start with Joker.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
Build-
saying
build
that.
up
No,
to
there's
Joker.
nothing
Yeah.
indicating that. I'm just saying, looking at the whole picture top down, maybe there's something there. About
I know
that.
I would lose my mind if this person was cast as Joker. If they had Mara Wilson, who played Matilda, Danny DeVito's daughter in Matilda,
I
if
love
they
it.
cast her now as an adult as Penguin,
Penguin.
Penguin, I would lose my shit.
I'm into it.
Because I can picture Mara Wilson in the makeup being all like,
What's she been up to?
She just like tweets now about like
Yeah.
science and stuff.
Oh, okay.
but I would.
I don't know which way you're gonna go because you got Suicide Squad, which goes
Matilda
kind of
on
more.
Disney Plus?
It goes more the Tim Burton route, where like it's Killer Croc. He's an actual crocodile,
Yeah.
like, or you go the Joker route, where it's a man with mental illness,
Yeah.
and we're not. We go to a hyper realistic version or the Heath Ledger version, where it is a man. Maybe I don't know. He's just a manifestation
Like a
of.
force of nature, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm sure Chris Nolan's mind is like, yeah, he's just a guy, but it's sexier if you don't know his backstory.
Oh, Chris Nolan, when it comes to movies, you have all the answers. But when it comes to good financial decisions, Upstart has all the answers. Credit scores, interest rates, debt. I know that for myself, these were pretty intimidating terms to hear as I was stepping out of the nest and into the real world. If I had to go back and do it all again, I know that Upstart would be an invaluable resource. Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. A lot of credit providers just think of you as a number, but with Upstart, you'll be rewarded with smarter interest rates based on your education and job history. Upstart makes it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in no time without affecting your credit score. Plus, most people receive their funds the day after their loan is approved. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. So see why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/filmhouse, that's HAUS, to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. Upstart.com/filmhouse. Batman, any final thoughts on that?
Can't wait.
Yeah?
I
Are
guess
you
I'm at the
excited?
point. There's such a deluge of superhero films that I don't need any particular movie to do anything, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
They could just throw it against the wall and be like, all right, well, you tried something.
It's all been done.
Especially in the DC
Or has it?
universe.
I mean, if you go back to all the comics, yeah. So there's a lot of source material to pull from with, I'm kind of into just like trying a lot of different tones, a lot of different approaches. If there's still money there, goddamn, they're going to do it until the end of time.
It's kind of refreshing, given how strict Marvel is, that DC has failed at mimicking that design because it's allowed them to throw more shit at the wall, like you said.
That's true.
So-
Yeah, they, I feel like, tonally they're much more scattershot, which is interesting. At least when I go to see something like Suicide Squad, man, I have no idea what's going to happen. Marvel, I feel like it's going to hit a minimum bar of quality. It's going to hit certain storytelling beats. There's going to be a conclusion in there that's somewhat heartwarming. Suicide Squad, God, 2 hours goes by and I'm like, what just happened? But I was here, I guess.
RuPaul for the Riddler.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I'll take it. That's fine. Just do anything you want.
Well,
Just gonna lay there.
Shit all over the Riddler.
before we go, it is the Halloween season, the spooky season. I imagine there's still maybe a week or two more for us to get into it, really, but that's Dan's job. To get us primed, though, I wanted to give all of us here an option to shout out some movies that we think are good things to maybe carve out time for this holiday season. Elise, do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, I tried to pick two that I thought would be a little bit interesting. Maybe you don't watch them often or you haven't seen them. The first one is Train to Busan, the Korean zombie film. Also because there's a sequel coming out.
What?
So yeah, prime yourself for
There's
Train to
another
Busan 2.
2 Trains to Busan.
Train to Busan was
Trains to Busan.
I really did enjoy that movie.
I think that's on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a really cool movie.
Cool.
And James is going to show you a
No,
little
it's okay.
bit.
It's one of those
You
ones-
keep
Okay.
going. You keep going.
And my second movie was just the Evil Dead remake, just because I think it's a really cool, fun movie.
Agreed.
I'm with you there.
The Sam Raimi one.
Yeah.
It's a
That's-
remake of the Sam Raimi one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam
Yes.
Raimi wasn't involved with the remake.
I think he produced it.
He produced
did?
it,
Okay.
yeah.
Which I think it was because they're like, you own this thing or you created it, so you want to be
Yeah.
involved. I actually really liked it.
yeah, I
It's
thought it was
really
really
good.
rad.
I had a great time.
It was did a great job acknowledging the previous one. Like, again, adaptation, right? Like, there's no sense in seeing it again, and it does a great job of not. When you watch it, you're not like, well, I just watched Evil Dead again. You feel like you get something different. and
Yeah, it
new.
was like spiritually accurate because it still had all the occultism, the books, like the gore, that descent into madness and like people turning on each other stuff, but kind of updated in a different take. Yeah, super, super great.
Yeah. Adam, do you have a recommendation?
We talked a little bit about it on Dude Soup already this week, but Beetlejuice I think is it's like a good family Halloween movie. I think I'm almost like anything Tim Burton's sort of cheating because everything just even he has Nightmare Before Christmas, but like
Frank and Weenie is such a great Halloween.
I still haven't watched it
Oh, it's
actually. I
delightful.
haven't seen the original one. But then if you're going a little scarier, I also just try to think more classic. I would say either Poltergeist, or if you want to be modern scared, watch Green Room.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is
Oh boy.
it's a different kind of horror, but man, I think it's on Netflix right now too.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
definitely that movie
Is
put me in a weird mood.
Same.
Intense.
Yeah,
Green
so-
Room is the great kind of horror where it really does double down on just people being monsters and in a very believable and
Yeah.
utterly
yeah,
terrifying
which
way.
always makes it a little scarier when you're like, oh god, there's something. It's weird when like in Hellraiser, like the dad being kind of the more scarier thing than Pinhead. Like an abusive father is a bit scarier than the man
that
with
Pan's Labyrinth angle.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god, Pan's Labyrinth is another kind of good one.
Oh, I
But-
love Pan's Labyrinth.
Where
It's one
yeah,
of
the
my
real
faves.
world is like
Yeah.
when somebody retreats into a fantasy horror to get away from the actual real horror in front of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
bad.
All right, those
Lawrence,
are
do you
mine.
want to toss out there?
Sure. Let's see here. I guess you guys got me on thinking Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell
Oh,
Okay.
Drag Me to Hell's
is
fun.
real fun.
That's a fun movie.
It's
goofy.
basically like classic Sam Raimi, but updated because some of those campy beats when he crammed them into Spider-Man didn't play out so well. But Drag Me to Hell, I think he hits all of his beats really, really well. And there's a lot of like Sam Raimi has a wonderful ability to make you cringe while laughing. Like it's that sort of injection of comedy into horror, the slapstick aspect, and it's very on display and not quite as dated as it has been in Drag Me to Hell.
Do you guys ever go to the Raimi memes subreddit?
Sometimes,
No.
yeah.
It's great because it's just all Spider-Man memes, and then if people post stuff of other movies, they get down by it.
Awesome.
mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you forget he made a Wizard of Oz movie.
I did not forget.
Yeah.
It's okay until the last third.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I guess in terms of classics, I just watched Alien again last night, so I found a new appreciation for that film in a lot of ways. The subtlety of the dialogue, it definitely has that like old tone or Ridley Scott aspect where there's a lot of texture conveyed through small mumbly dialogue you just may not catch. The set design, world building is all super, super great. And I thought the strobing like light behind fan was a James Cameron thing, but it is totally in the climax of the original Alien. So for 79, that movie like hit a lot of horror beats that would not become popular for another 10 years.
There's something about commercial directors going into film where they aesthetically know what looks good and what will be classic, and like that plays a lot into Alien and Blade Runner, where you go, he was obsessed with no, the columns need to look like this. Flip the columns, do what I said. And then when you watch it years later, you go, wow, this movie's pretty timeless. Like Alien, all the tropes came from that movie.
Yeah.
But man, good pick.
And then I guess one other sort of more indie one. I remember watching Cube a long time ago and really, really liking it. It is a little lower budget. It's one of those like, it's mostly a one-set film, but it has a great concept that really kind of expands the mind space of it, and it combines, I think, like believable human terror with sort of supernatural, unbelievable stuff pretty well. So cool concept. It's got a very impressive atmosphere that kind of gets in your head. So really, really enjoyed that one. They've made like 8 other ones like they do with any small success, and I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Oh, really?
So.
Hypercube? Really?
Cube 2, Hypercube, Cube 0. Yeah, there's all manner of cubes. So
Anytime where they go, we can swap the characters out and continue doing it. You're like, crap.
Yeah.
Saw, Insidious. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Well, I'll just take a quick moment to shout out a couple of mine. If you're looking for more, though, I think those are all great suggestions. Monster Squad, just loved it. That's my Goonies. Or I should say, Goonies is your Monster Squad.
He's right.
And I love Monster Squad so much. As a kid, watched it again last night with Elise and Zach Anner, and we love Monster Squad. So good. It's a testament to how mediocre movies back then were way better than mediocre movies are now. Way more thought was put into something that they were like, I hope 5 people see this, than anything else. Monster Squad. I was going to say Dawn of the Dead, but Elise said Train to Busan, and I think if you're going to watch one, you go Train to Busan. It's the better version, but
Which Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah,
the
which
Zack
original?
Snyder one.
Okay.
The Zack Snyder one.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is that
haven't seen
the
the
mall
Zack-
one?
The fast
Yeah,
zombies. Look so fast.
The original one is a classic, but
I
think the
remake.
Zack Snyder one's really good.
Is the original one like the Romero first
Yeah.
of the Dead movie?
No,
Okay.
No.
Night of the Living Dead is the first.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, basically, he invented the zombies.
Maybe the
movie
babysitter.
genre.
Maybe you say the babysitter.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one.
Well, I was going to actually say Cabin Fever.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Cabin Fever. I
Cabin
think.
Fever's wacky.
Yeah, it
like,
is.
It's got a lot of the like 50s style double focus shots, which are just weird now, but it's an
Diopters.
interesting ride.
Yeah.
Also, Al Pacino like being just like
Wait,
that's
No,
him,
we're
right?
talking
No,
about
no,
different
the other
movies.
one.
Talking about different movies.
you're thinking of Insomnia.
This is the one with the kid from Boy
Wait,
Meets
No,
World.
he's thinking
What am I
of-
thinking of? Never mind.
Jack and Jill.
I don't know
No.
what you're
That's
thinking
the,
of, honestly.
the Adam Sandler movie.
Sorry, I'm totally off. I'm derailing hard.
where he plays both of them.
What were you
Fear?
talking?
Was that it?
That's
No.
Robert
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Never mind.
That was so. I'm glad we got there though.
It's 2 words. The first one starts with a C. My bad. I'm
Cape
sorry.
Fear is also a remake.
Yeah,
I totally
no,
derailed you.
Cabin Fever, Joss Whedon, and the guy who
Wait,
did.
you mean Cabin in the Woods?
You're talking
Sorry,
about
sorry.
Cabin in the Woods. Cabin
Sorry.
Fever is, I think, the Canadian one with the kid from
It
Boy
is,
Meets World.
yeah.
It's Eli Roth.
Yeah.
It's Eli Roth,
Yeah, that
right?
was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his first big movie.
Sorry, I meant to say Cabin in the Woods.
It's like,
Okay.
I was gonna say, I was like, really, James likes Cabin Fever? It's okay.
I did see Cabin Fever in theaters, but
I saw it in theaters too,
His name's
and
Ryder
I haven't
Strong?
Ryder Strong, and I
Thank
haven't
you.
seen it since. But the only thing that I remember, and this isn't a spoiler because that movie came out like 20 years ago, but there's a part where after stuff starts happening, one of the girls I think is shaving her legs, and it's just
Yeah.
flesh.
Yeah.
It's great
Shearing
though.
off.
It's
Peter
great.
Jackson loves that movie.
I believe it.
It's definitely one of
Frighteners, watch
those like
Frighteners.
Yeah,
weird
Frighteners,
schlocky.
Frighteners and Dead Alive
thing.
are
Oh, God.
fantastic.
But one last point before we go: Cabin in the Woods
sorry.
is a good movie to watch if you can't decide what kind of horror you are into, because it has the whole joke of the movie is that it has it all.
Yeah.
Um,
As we watch the Cabin Fever trailer.
But Cabin
go to
Fever,
the,
do
go
not
to the
forget.
movies and watch Parasite. Not
Oh yeah,
conventional horror,
Not
but it will make
conventional
you
horror.
feel.
yeah. You guys said nothing but good things about it, so
I think it's my movie of the year.
I'm excited to see it. Really? You're saying that now? Even though
Well,
Star
Sonic
Wars
got-
hasn't come
Sonic
out
got
yet?
I haven't seen
delayed,
Gemini
so.
Man yet,
Sonic Slave.
but
Yeah,
You see it
Midsommar
twice.
wasn't quite. Quite there.
But yeah, so thank you guys for joining us this week for their little news roundup. We hope you agree that it's a travesty that Sonic has been delayed, and the improvements to his design do not make up for the many months I have to continue waiting. But yeah, thank you guys for joining
thank
me.
you.
And we will be back next week with some more Funhaus.
Spooky. Movie takes place.
1981.
Does it say 81?
Todd Phillips said 1981.
Oh, okay. But in the
Very
movie, there's
specifically.
no like clear indication
No,
of that.
no, yeah.
Because when we were watching it, Jess was like, "That's so weird. That's set in the '70s." And I was like, "I thought it was '80s." Like we couldn't really.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
seem like 70s New York with
It-
all the graffiti and the trash.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it harkens
everything.
to that era. So I got an '80s vibe
New
off
York
of it.
still looks like that.